All right, good afternoon, evening. Sorry about that. This is Coach Big Pete of DeepDishFootball.com. Be sure you're following Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football. St. Patrick stop number 3 on the Deep Dish Football Tour 2018. Had a fun time. Thank you to Coach Guerra. Thank you to the coaching staff and the players of St. Patrick High School. Had a fun time with you guys' first day there for camp. Very impressed with the wide receivers. Very impressed with overall the athletes, the size, the speed, the physicality of those athletes. Got some good linemen too. Really like the running backs. Again, good defense. This is going to be a very interesting season. They have the talent, and I've wrote in the thing the first two games. Like the first one is against Taft, and the second one is against Glenbrook South, which will be two very important games for St. Patrick. And this is more of a rhythm team, and if they get those first two wins, look out, especially in the ESCC. Is definitely watch out for it. They got Benedict Academy. That's going to be a tough game. Nazareth's the world beaters of the conference. But again, if they get to that third win, if they beat Benedict Academy, Nazareth should be scared. I'm not going to swear of St. Patrick. St. Patrick, toughness, physicality, just overall impressed. I was completely impressed with their wide receivers, as I said before. And I think this season's going to be very key on what their quarterbacks can do. Very impressed with the running backs, impressed with the defensive backs, linebackers, all around good. Tight ends, great, perfect. Very impressed with this camp. Like I said, the way that they worked with the kids on hip work, especially with the first day of camp, you don't see that. You don't see many of the coaches doing that, especially around camps, working with kids on hip work. I think it's important that they learn to lower those hips to get the perfect angle from those hips. I think it's I think it's I think it's forgotten most of the time, and I think St. Patrick is basically working heavily on their technique, um, especially from teams that they face. They're going to be facing teams that are more talented than them, but again, they're going to be going into the thing as a physical, tough team that relies on the team effort and team to win the game. They're going to be going against a lot of talented teams in that, and if one of those talented teams throws a pick six, fumbles the ball, watch out. You don't want to face St. Patrick after that. I faced these type of teams before, and St. Patrick could be one of those teams, those tough nosed teams. Basically, they have the talent, but they're not overly like a Nazareth Academy. But basically, they'll drill the ball down your throat, and when they have the option, they're going to throw the pass. And it's going to be big on what their quarterbacks can do for St. Patrick. But overall, I was impressed with that offensive line. I know that there's a few if spots, but again, really impressed with the tackle. Forgetting the guard's name, interior lineman that they have, he's great too. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see. Like I said, after they get past Taft and Glenbrook South, uh, Marion Catholic, that could be another win. Notre Dame College Prep, that could be another win. I forgot their last game is. That could be another win too. But if they get into the playoffs, they're a scary team. And I said this last year of Benedict Academy. They could be this year's Benedict Academy basically. But St. Patrick again looks good this year. Um, but again, the first two games are going to be interesting. I will be at the Niles Notre Dame game, uh, on October 6th. But again, it's going to be a good year for St. Patrick. That's just my personal belief, and what the way the team is operated on. Very impressed with the way practice was done. Basically, sort of like a fast and furious practice. Uh, get it in, get it quick. Basically, whistle everything. All the players are active in that practice, and this was actually the first one that I was part of that I saw, which was quite impressive. But and especially for the first day, very impressive. They did a great job, the St. Patrick kids. It's going to be an interesting season for St. Patrick. Um, because I didn't put it down. Vince Waters, linebacker, definitely a player to look out for. Athlete Xavier Sindala. I'm going to mispronounce the last names, I swear. Giovanni Capville, cornerback. He also, I think, he plays a little bit on offense. AJ Fitzpatrick. George Onahisin, running back. Anthony Manaves, he's on my watch list. So is Vince Waters. He's on my watch list too for St. Patrick. Who else? I'm sorry, Jake Brisky. I'm sorry, sir. Jake Brisky's another kid to look out for. He was the interior lineman that I was talking about. They got a good, like I said, their size on wide receiver is very scary. So if that quarterback, he throws that ball up there, that wide receiver is going to come down with that ball. Very, very impressive with the size of those wide receivers and what they have. Kareem Apchapong, defensive end, and I think he plays a little bit of offensive line. He's another guy to look out for. I'm looking for another. Joseph Fanning. I forgot his name. Joseph Fanning is another offensive tackle you want to keep an eye out for too. Keep a very good close eye out for Joseph Fanning. He could be huge for next year too. He's going to be heavily recruited. But again, a very impressive team for St. Patrick. Keep a very good close eye out for them. Taft's the first week. Second's Glenbrook South. Me personally, I'll say they go 2-0. I think the first two games they can win, and if they win two games, watch out for them. That's all I'm going to say. Coach Gurn runs a hell of a ship, a very tight ship with those kids. Again, like I said, I was overall impressed by the size of the wide receivers, because some of the defensive backs that they'll be going against, they're fast, but they don't have the size that St. Patrick does. So I'm very impressed with that. So it should be an interesting thing. Thank you again for Coach Gurn, the St. Patrick coaching staff, kids, players. Thanks again. It was a fun time. It was a great time. Thank you to Coach Waters for setting it up, the whole thing. And then Coach I'll say it again, Coach Gurn. It's a fun time. Be sure you're following Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip. Thank you so much, and have a lovely night.